friends, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to June's Dozens. Not marathon day, because during the month of June we're looking at some bands that have released 12 albums, and I had 4 that got 12, so I thought I would do them during the month of June. And today's is a Scottish indie band. They've usually been compared with people like Nick Drake and the Smiths, and they're from Scotland, and they are called Belle and Sebastian. Now, they were formed in Glasgow in 1996 by Stuart Murdoch, and he recruited Stuart David as he was a local musician on a business course, and he performed part of that course on the album, and he stayed. There was Isabel Campbell on cello and vocals, Stevie Jackson on guitars and vocals, Chris Geddes on the keys, Richard Colburn on the drums. As I said, they have released 12 albums, and they're all very good. They're a really chill out sort of indie band. In all honesty, I don't think they ever really put out a bad album. There's just ones that I prefer than others, as usual. So if yours is at the bottom, doesn't mean I don't dislike it. It's just I prefer the others. They're a very good band, and we'll have a look at their 12 albums. So, coming in at number 12, we go to 1998 and their third album, and it's called The Boy with the Arab Strap. So you've got Stuart Murdoch on lead vocals, Stuart David on the bass, Isabel Campbell on vocals and the cello, Chris Geddes, who's a brilliant keyboard player, Richard Colburn, Stevie Jackson, and we've got a couple of extras. Mick Cook, who of course was mentioned last week with Teenage Fan Club, plays trumpet. Sarah Martin's on violin and keyboards. We've also got Ian McKay on bagpipes, Neil Robson on bass on one of the drums. Loads of people doing the strings. Gail Anderson, Claire Campbell, Edie Campbell, Ewan Forrester, David D. McKay and Sarah Wilson. So the first track on here is because it could have been a brilliant career. Really nice tune. The guitars on this from Stevie are fantastic, and it's got some lovely nice harmonies on it. It's not a bad track at all. Sleep the Clock Around comes next. Very pleasant. It's okay. There's nothing bad about it. It's just okay. Is it wicked or not to care? Isabel takes the lead on this. She's got a nice voice. I love the sounds on this. It's a pretty good track. Then we have Ease Your Feet into the Sea. It's absolutely great. Nothing wrong with that. A Summer Wasting. I'm not a great fan of this one. It just there's something about it that doesn't rock my boat. Next track, Seymour Stein or Stein. My favourite track on here. The keyboard work on this is terrific from Chris Geddes. Really adds to the track. It's bright, vibrant, very good. Then we have a Space Boy drum. I love the start to this one because it's Chris on the electric piano, and I love electric piano. Spoken words are pretty good. Excellent track. Dirty Dream number 2. Some nice string arrangements on this. Again, we'll go with the guitars. And then we got the title track, The Boy with the Arab Strap. My second favourite track on here. It's a very quirky, clap your hands sort of track. Nice vocals all round. And once again, I love the keyboard runs in this. Then we have a track called Chick Factor. Nice arrangement, some nice piano work this time from Chris. Simple things. I think this is one of these tracks that's got a very 60s vibe to it, and I like it. Then we have the Roller Coaster Ride, and it's an okay song, but it's certainly got that last track on the album feel. I mean, although this is at the bottom, it is a good album. It's got some nice tracks on it. It's a very pleasant listen, and I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 11, we have the 9th album. Now, this was released in 2015, and it's called Girls in Peacetime Want to Dance. There's one thing I like about this band. Their album covers are quite stunning. The colours, the pictures, absolutely brilliant covers, as you will see. So the band on this album is Stuart Murdoch, Stevie Jackson. Now we've got Sarah Martin now part of the band properly, doing vocals, violin and all sorts of things. And Chris Geddes, as ever, on the keyboards, with Richard Colburn doing the drums. Bobby Kadir is on guitar on here. Dave McGowan on bass on a couple of them. So the first track on this one is called Nobody's Empire. Very quirky. Great vocal from Stuart. I think it's Stuart. It's really strong track. Chilled but strong. Then we have Ali. Some great guitar work on this. Very, very good track. The Party Line. Now this is one of them tracks where they've got a very good drummer, but they insist on using programming. Doesn't suit it. Stop it. Then we have the Power of Three. Now Sarah Martin takes the lead vocal on this. She's got a great voice as well. The mismatched percussion on this is a bit strange, but it's okay. The Cat with the Cream is the next one. This is a great track. It's simple, some nice harmony vocals on it, a very simple drum beat, and it's a very nice balance on that one. Very good. Enter Sylvia Plath. Too dancey for me. Yeah. No, you're not a dance band. You're an independent. You're an indie band with a bit of chill on it. The Everlasting Muse. We've got some horns on this, and I think it sounds great. It sounds like you've got a mandolin on it as well. Then Perfect Couples. Now Stevie Jackson does the lead vocals on this. He's got a great voice as well. You can tell that because of his backing vocals. I like this. Then we have Ever Had a Little Faith. Great vocal, gentle guitars, really chill out sort of track, which is great. Now we got a track called Play for the Day featuring Dee Dee Penny. It's not too bad. Then my favourite track on here is The Book of You. It's Sarah singing now. My favourite track, it's one of my favourite Sarah vocals. It's a catchy tune. There's nothing complicated about it. It's really good. Today, for, in brackets, This Arm Is for Peace. A really nice track to end the album. Nice, gentle percussion like this. Yeah, this is a mixed bag here. There are some really strong songs on here, but there are some dancey ones that really make my shudder. But the good tracks are really good. I don't like the complicated drum patterns on this, but I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.5. Coming in at number 10, album released in 2000. It's the 4th album. Fold Your Hands, Child, You Walk Like a Peasant. Stuart Murdoch, Sarah Martin, Stevie Jackson, Isabel Campbell, Stuart David, Mick Cook is on the trumpet on this one, and Richard Colburn on the drums. First track is called I Fought in a War. Really powerful words. Very strong song with emotion, and it's got a great trumpet piece from Mick Cook. Absolutely stunning track. Then we have The Model. The added strings on this is an absolute bonus. You've got Isabel and Sarah teaming up and making this wonderful sound. Absolutely terrific track. Beyond the Sunrise. Very simple song. I like simple songs with simple beats. There's a little bit of harmonica on there. The shimmery of the cymbals. Just adds atmosphere to that track. Waiting for the Moon to Rise. One of my favourites on here. Got some lovely flute on here from Sarah. Wonderful sound. It's so ambient, and it sets the scene in the title with the music arrangement. Very, very good track. Don't Leave the Light On, Baby. Electric piano here. You can't go wrong with a bit of electric piano. Absolutely brilliant track this is. Mr. Geddes. I love that sound on it. The Wrong Girl comes next. Got some really nice trumpet again from me. Adds depth to it. It gives it some emotion. The Chalet Lines, a little bit boring. Not for me. Nice Day for a Sulk. My favourite track on here. It's a 2.5 minute song, but the piano and flute are wonderful, and it's very Burt Bacharach sort of sound in places. Then we've got Woman's Realm, another belt of a song. The strings are good, really adds to that track. Family Tree, it's a great track. We've got Isabel and Sarah doing on this, and Sarah plays some wonderful flute on it as well, which is an added bonus. There's Too Much Love, another sort of this 60s pastiche hit sort of thing. Nice piano on it and a pretty good track to end the album. Pretty decent album here. There's some really good tunes on here. The added value of strings and horns on the album makes it a very good album. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay, coming in at number 9, got the 5th album, and it was a music score for a film called Storytelling. That's what it's called. So you've got Stuart Murdoch on here, Stevie Jackson, Sarah Martin, Chris Geddes, Richard Colburn, Isabel Campbell, Stuart David, Mick Cook. Quite a few tracks on here. And because it's a movie soundtrack. So the first track is Fiction. Some really lovely strings and piano in this, very gentle. Freak, these are very short tracks. Love the vocal on this. It's not a singing as such, but it's got that, it's very eerie, very good. Then we have a little bit of dialogue, which I find strange. Cool, and it's called Con on Early Letterman. Now you excuse my language on this because this is what it's called, and it's called Fuck This Shit. Sort of reminds me of the theme of Last of the Summer Wine. Yeah, I don't know why. It's quite a nice little tune. Pity about the bad, the name of the track. Nightwork, a really nice piece of music, very nice gentle piano. Then we have some more dialogue. It's called Jersey, Where Is It At? Then we have my favourite track on here, and it's one of the longest tracks. It's called Black and White Unite. Reminds me of a Simon and Garfunkel sort of song, their sort of structure. It's a very good track. Concealo is another good track. Some great trumpet from Mick, and I love the plucking sound you get on a violin on that. Is good. It's really good. More dialogue. Yeah. Storytelling. This is great. I love this song. A lovely vocal and just the simple drum and piano. More dialogue. If you haven't watched the film, this just means nothing to you. Then we have a little thing called I Don't Want to Play Football. Then we've got Concealer Leaving. Quite the strings really add a little bit of atmosphere to it. Wandering Alone, a really good track. I like the balance of this. Some nice vocals and harmonies. More dialogue, and then we got Scooby Driver, quirky 60s sort of thing. Very good. The keyboards from Chris is brilliant on that. Fiction Reprise, a little bit more of that. Great little bit of music. And the last track on this is called Big John Shaft. Some great funky guitar on this with the electric piano. Really groovy. Now this, you forget this is actually a soundtrack, because, okay, it's got the dialogue, which doesn't mean absolutely nothing to nobody, but unless you've seen the film. But the songs are really good. I think it'd have done better without the dialogue, actually. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.7. Okay, coming in at number 8 from 2003. It's the 6th album, and it's called Dear Catastrophe, Waitress. And on here is Stuart, Stevie, Sarah, Chris, Richard, and guitars this time is Bobby Kildare. First track on here is my favourite track, and it's called Step Into My Office, Baby. What I like about this, it's very quirky, the guitar's nice, a quirky little vocal there, and the keyboards just make it even better. Then we have the title track, Dear Catastrophe, Waitress. Very quirky again. I love the violin on here. It's got that plucking of the violin, not with the bow, the plucking really adds to it. If She Wants Me is the next track. Reminds me of Athlete, the band Athlete. They're very, very similar in some of the work they do, and this is great. I love it. Then we have Piazza, New York Catcher. I don't know how influenced they are by Paul Simon, but this is the sort of thing you heard from Paul Simon in his career. It's a great little track. Asleep on a Sunbeam is the next one. Great vocal from Sarah on this, and I do love the gentle guitar sound on this. I Am a Cuckoo. Great bass line from Stuart David. Very solid song again. You Don't Send Me. Interesting song. It's got a bit of trumpet on there. Really adds to it. Wrapped Up in Books. Back to that 60s vibe, especially on the guitar work. I really like that track. Lord Anthony. I like the orchestral bit in here. At the start, the gentle percussion, and it's a fantastic vocal. If You Find Yourself Caught in Love, very uplifting track. Nice arrangement, wonderful drop. Then we have a track called Roy Walker. It's got that 60s pop feel to it, and it's a really good track. I think this album's got that very 60s vibe, runs through the whole album. That's why I like it. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.8. Okay, coming in at number 7, I got the 8th album, released in 2010. And it's Belle and Sebastian, Write About Love. Known informally as Write About Love. It's Stuart Murdoch, Stevie Jackson, Sarah Martin, Chris Geddes, Richard Colburn, Bobby Kildare. The guest singers Norah Jones and Carey McGillan. First track is here. I didn't see it coming. Sarah does the lead vocal on it. Great start of another fantastic vocal from Sarah. Good track. Then we have Come On Sister. Now, there's a little bit of keyboard in here. It reminds me of the computer game, the Mario Brothers. Yeah, things I think of. It's a catchy tune. That's what I like about it. It's quirky. Calculating Bimbo. I love the drums on here from Richard Colburn. Very interesting time signature, but very good. It works well on that. I Want to Stop the World. Reminds me of Supertramp. It really does with that electric piano. Great track. And we got Little Lou, Ugly Jack, Prophet John, featuring the wonderful Norah Jones on vocals. And she's a great singer, and she does an outstanding performance on this. Write About Love, which it was Carey McGillan. My favourite track on it, the keyboard work from Chris, reminds me so much of the Doors legend Ray Manzarek. The way he used to play the keyboards. It's absolutely stunning track. One of my favourite tracks by Belle and Sebastian, purely on the great keyboard work of Chris Geddes. Absolutely brilliant, and it's a great vocal from Carey. Super track. We got I'm Not Living in the Real World. Now Stevie Jackson again is back on the lead vocal. It's a very poppy song, but it works, and again Chris's keyboard work is just great on this. The Ghost of Rock School, great bass line from Stuart, really drives the song along. Excellent little track. Up next is Released The Blessed Pages. Great track, some nice acoustic guitars on this. Great vocal from Stuart. My second favourite track comes next. I Can See Your Future. It's Sarah again on vocals. It's got that 60s sort of Sandy Shaw feel to it. The keyboards are fun. It's very, very quirky. Sunday's Pretty Icons. More wonderful Chris keyboards on this. Great track to end the album. Solid album from top to bottom. No filler on here. And some of Chris's best keyboard work, I think. So I am going to give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 6. This is the actual current album at the moment, released last year. And it's called Late Developers. Now the band at the moment are Stuart Murdoch, Stevie Jackson, Sarah Martin, Chris Geddes and Richard Colburn. Bobby Kadir with Dave McGowan doing all the brass arrangements. First track is called Juliet Native. Lovely track. The harmonies on here, as again it always helps when you've got a band that have got great voices. You mean you've got Stevie Jackson, Sarah Martin and Stuart Murdoch, all good voices, and when they all perform together it's wonderful. Give a Little Time is next. I love the guitar work on this. It is absolutely delightful. Then we have When We Were Very Young. Nice drumming from Richard. We've got Chris on the keyboards. They sort of make the song flow wonderfully with their sort of interplay. Will I Tell You a Secret? The backing vocals from Sarah on this, absolutely top draw. So In the Moment. Guitars, Chris's keyboards, the vocals, especially from Sarah, very good again. The Evening Star. This is a wonderful chill out song. The harmonies are just wonderful. We've got some flute in here from Sarah as well. It just makes it a great track. When You're Not With Me, another Sarah vocals, but I don't like the bongos. It just doesn't fit. What's going on there? I Don't Know What You See in Me. Quirky little track. My second favourite on the album. Great vocal. Then we have Do You Follow. Another excellent track. Some great guitar on this one. The bass from Stuart is great. They've got some lovely swells on the keyboards from Chris. When the Cynics Stare Back from the Wall. It's one of them simple arrangements. A simple acoustic guitar with a nice little bit of piano. Then we get the title track, Late Developers. Horns, trumpets, very brassy. I love that sort of sound. Really works well, and a great track to end the album. A very good album. I think their later albums have really brought them back to form. You know, I hope this is not the last album we get from them, because they're making some excellent music. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, coming in at number 5, we got the 11th album that came out in 2022, and it's called A Bit of Previous. We got Stuart, Stevie, Sarah, Chris, Richard, Bobby, and Dave McGowan doing the brass arrangements as again. First track on this one is Young and Stupid. It's a short little track, but it's got some lovely violin from Sarah. Such a great start to the album, and that combination with the guitar works well. If they are all shooting at you, it's all about Chris's performance on the keyboards. He's just a terrific keyboard player. We got some quirky horn on here as well, which really adds to it. My favourite track on this one is Talk to Me, and again it's because of Chris. He really lifts this track. I just like his style. He's always quirky, and he comes up with some lovely runs on the keyboards. Reclaim the Night. Drum programming. No. Stop it. It doesn't sound right. The only good thing about this is Sarah's vocal. Do It For Your Country. Wonderful stuff. Dump the machine. Get Richard on the drums, and you've got a fine track. Profits on Hold. I like the middle bit of this. It's It's got that distinctive Belle and Sebastian sound. The harmonicas on there as well. It's just lovely tones. Great little track. Unnecessary drama. More harmonica. Bit of harmonica doesn't. I love this track. Come On Home. I like the middle bit of. It's a middle of a road sort of track, and then it's got this real funky bass line from Stuart. Absolutely, Stuart David. That is very good. A World Without You. Wonderful. I love this track. It's just a nice song all round, nice and gentle. Deathbed of My Dreams. Love the echo on this, the vocal on Stuart. It really adds to the atmosphere. Sea of Sorrow. Lovely melodic track. Some nice guitar work on that one. Working Boy in New York. Belongs to Sarah's flute playing. Really is wonderful. If it weren't for that flute, I think it'd be a little bit non-flat. But it's a great track to end the album. A very consistent band, Belle and Sebastian. They make some very good albums. Quality tracks on here. I think it's like a good wine. The older they get, the band get, the better they are. It's just a solid album. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. So coming in number 4, we go back to where it all started for them. Their debut album called Tigermilk. Now, it was only originally given a limited release of 1,000 copies by Electric Honey and in 1996, and then it was re-released in 1999. So the original, it's got Stuart Murdoch on vocals, Stuart David on bass, Isabel Campbell on the cello, Chris Geddes on keyboard and piano, Richard Colburn on the drums, Stevie Jackson on guitar, Mick Cook on trumpet, Joe Toa on violin, and Keith Jones on synthesizers. So the first track on here is called The State I Am In. Always like this track. Simple percussion, a great bass line from Stuart David. Excellent little track. Expectations. I like this. Mick Cook's doing some that Spanish Mexican sort of trumpet. I like it. It really adds to this track. What a track. It's got a little bit of violin in there as well that really adds to the track. This is my favourite track on the album. It's all that sort of Mexico. You think of sombreros and frilly shirts and all that sort of thing. She's Losing It. The lyrics to this are a bit of fun. I like the combination of electric and acoustic guitars on work well together. You're Just a Baby. Chris's keyboards are great on this. Nice percussion as well. Electronic Renaissance. The keyboards are great. The voice effects are good. It's a really strange track, but works well. It's really good. I Could Be Dreaming. Some great sound effects on there. Lovely vocal as well. We Rule the School. Great bit of cello on here. And you've got some piano. It sounds a bit chamber music with the cello and piano. Very, very good. My Wandering Days Are Over is next. Harmonised vocals, some lovely violin on here as well. Really adds when you put the piano with the violin as well. Great track. I Don't Love Anyone. One of these 60s songs, I like it when they do these 60s field tracks, and this has got so much vibe of the 60s. It's an excellent track. And the last track is Mary Jo. Love the flute at the beginning. Fantastic. Very good debut album. A great mixture of instruments on here, from guitars to flutes and trumpets. Set their stall out early with this album, and I think this is a fantastic album. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.6. Okay, coming in at number 3, we got the 10th album from 2019, and it served as a soundtrack for a film of the same name, The Days of Bagnold Summer in 2020. So the players on here are Stuart Murdoch, Stevie Jackson, Sarah Martin, Chris Geddes, Richard Colburn, Bolly Kildare. and Dave McGowan. First track is called Sister Buddha Intro. Some really nice acoustic guitar. It's gentle and it's moody at the same time. Next track is I Know Where the Summer Goes. The combination of piano and keyboard on here is brilliant. Chris is just great. It's all his work and it just seems to flow. And I think Sarah Martin does a bit of the keyboards on this as well. It's really good. And it's a fantastic vocal from Stuart as ever. Did they just go just like you wanted? Strings on this are wonderful. And then you have this wonderful sultry trumpet. There's lots of people that play on here. It's a great piece. Jill Pole is now. It's dreamy. Really sort of sound. It's the harmonica is wonderful on it as well. I'll Keep It Inside, short track but a nice vocal from Stuart. Safety Valve, one of my favourites on here. I think I just love acoustic guitar and violin. I like it when it's simple, as you know. The Colours, Gonna Run's next. Another favourite of this is so relaxing, gentle, lovely guitars, just a nice sound on it. Another Day, Another Night, very short piece, but it's a very nice vocal from Sarah. Get Away From Here, I'm Dying. My favourite on here, it's very sad. It's got so much atmosphere on it. You got it's the electric guitar without the effects. It's just plug in, gentle. It really is nice. Wait and See What the Day Holds. Another wonderful track. The guitar tones once again are good. Solid bass line. It's a little bit different and it just adds to this track. Then we get Sister Buddha. Second favourite on here. It's just carrying on from that intro. It's wonderful. It's just mystique as well. Then we have This Letter. Lovely acoustic guitar, strings, well put together track. We Were Never Glorious. Probably the most disjointed track on here, but it has got a bit of saxophone on it, which sort of brings it back. This is fantastic. I think this is probably one of the best soundtracks that you can listen to without not watching the film. It flows. They're good, solid tracks, and I was really surprised. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.7. Okay, coming in at number 2 is the second album, also released in 1996. And it's called If You're Feeling Sinister. On here is Stuart, Murdoch and Stuart David, Isabel Campbell, Chris Geddes, Richard Colburn, Stevie Jackson, Sarah Martin, Mick Cook. First track is called The Stars of Track and Field. Wonderful. You got the vocals of, we've got Isabel and Stuart doing a little thing there. Some nice trumpet from Mick Cook. Pretty good. Seeing other people. Chris's piano work on this is wonderful. It's clean, it's fresh. The simple percussion from Richard just makes it an excellent track. Me and the Major, great harmonica on this. I love a sultry harmonica, and that is good. Like Dylan in all the movies, very simple. Simple lyrics, simple arrangement. My favourite track on here, though, is called The Fox in the Snow. I think it's some of Chris's best piano playing ever. He just keeps that tune going. It's a great vocal from Stuart Murdoch as well. Terrific track. Get Me Away From Here, I'm Dying. Yes, it's another track they've done before. It's still great, of course. If You're Feeling Sinister, love the guitar on this. It's sort of almost a busking song or a skiffle song. I like that. Mayfly, got that sort of calmness of the 60s on here. It's wonderful. The Boy Done Wrong Again. 4 things I like about this. It's simple. Guitar, flute, piano, violin. Wonderful. And the last track is Judy and the Dream Horses and the Dream of Horses. Lovely trumpet from Mick on this, and it accompanies the guitar very well. Second album in, and there's crafting some great sounds. Very strong album, very underrated as well. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. But my number one album, up until this album came out, the other, If You're Feeling Sinister, was my favourite album. But when I heard this one, ooh, things did change. And it is their 7th album, released in 2006. And it's The Life Pursuit. So it's Stuart Murdoch, Stevie Jackson, Sarah Martin, Chris Geddes, Richard Colburn and Mick Cook. First track is called The Act of the Apostle. There's some drum programming on this, but if you get it right, it sounds great. And they got it right on that. Absolutely brilliant track. Great vocal from Stuart. Another Sunny Day. The electric guitar that's just plugged in without no effects again. Some great drumming here from Richard. The bass on the here is absolutely wonderful as well. It's Mick Cook playing the bass on this. He plays the bass on the whole album. It's absolutely brilliant. He's not just such a good trumpet player, he's a good bass player. Then we have White Collar Boy. This is great. It's got that glam rock feel to it. It also has got a bit, there's a little bit in here that reminds me of Muse's Uprising. It's catchy. It's that sort of dun 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 sound. It's brilliant. I love this. It's one of my favourite tracks by Belle and Sebastian. Then we have The Blues Are Still Blue. Quite rocky. Second favourite track on this. A bit of a groove. And it's got a glam rock feel to it as well. Dress Up in You. The mixture of vocals of Sarah and Mick's trumpet. And a wonderful harmony. Brilliant. Suki in the Graveyard. Chris is brilliant. It's hippie. It's psychedelic. It's everything. It's wonderful, sort of dreamy, sort of fun keyboard from Chris. We Are the Sleepyheads. I love this. It's funky. The funky sound, the drumming from Richard is brilliant on this. Some nice effects thrown in there as well. Song for Sunshine. Electric piano at the beginning. Gives you that sort of Stevie Wonder feel to it, and it's got that funky sort of thing from Stevie Wonder. Brilliant. Then we have a little track called Funny Little Frog. The combination of piano, bass and brass. You never thought it would go together, but it does. I love these sort of tracks. Then we have To Be Myself Completely. The piano work from Chris is wonderful. He's such a major part of the sound of this band, I think. Act of the Apostle number 2. Backing vocals are great. Wonderful stuff. And then we have this little track called The Price of a Cup of Tea. The lovely combination of acoustic guitar and piano always works for me. And it's a lovely vocal. Very English this is, The Price of a Cup of Tea. Then the last track, Mornington Crescent. The brass and drums. It's a bit of a crescendo. The piano at the end. And this has also got the best guitar solo on the album. I like this album because you get so many different variations. You get folk to glam rock. I just think it's such a strong album. Every track, you just don't know what you're going to get, and it's a surprise when you did. A well put together album, and I do play this album a lot. It's just when you're feeling a bit down, you put this on, it just lifts you. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.3. So there we go, some Belle and Sebastian. Go and check them out if you've not heard much of them. They are one of the best indie chill out sort of bands I think I've heard. I love them when they come out, and I sort of forgot about them, but doing this has made me get back into them again. So I hadn't listened to their stuff for ages, and I'm tending to put quite a lot on at the moment. So okay, that's all for today. Back tomorrow, and I got a brand new video because Battle Royale has finished. Simon's shirt is whisking its way down to the south coast as we speak. So we're going to do a thing called the Sophomore Drone. Now Dave come up with the name of this. It takes it from Mad Max 3, the Thunderdome, or the Thunderdrome, sorry. When Tina Turner says, only 2 of you enter the drone, 1 will only leave. Same here. So it's the sophomore albums, the second albums from the bands go pitching up against each other, and we're going to start off with a bit of glam metal. Tomorrow we're going to have Cinderella, The Long Cold Winter, up against Bon Jovi's 7,800 Degrees Fahrenheit. Also tomorrow we have got a top 10, and it's the UK top 10 from the 13th of June 1986, live stream as well at 8 PM tomorrow night. So a busy day as ever. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.